Hello and welcome to another review. Today we have Space Station Tycoon, and without any further ado, I'll jump straight into if I think the game is worth it at the moment or not, and my answer is currently no. And I'll get into the details in a second if you're interested to see my opinion and what I think needs to be improved in the game. So, first of all, what is Space Station Tycoon? So, on their words, create a thriving space station in a lost sector, face thrilling challenges head on, from pirate raids to asteroid impacts, as you lead your company to new heights. The idea of the game is pretty cool, and there is a lot of potential for everything that you can do in there. But at the moment, I think we need to talk about a few things. And before we do that, I want to thank you all for the likes and comments you've been leaving in other videos and on this one as well. Thank you very much. But let's jump into my thoughts on this game. So it's a very interesting take on the genre of a tycoon game, and building a space station is quite cool and gives you a different kind of scenario that you can play with. I quite like the take there, and I think on my first run through of the game, it was quite fun and I did had a good time. So keep that in mind. You can have a good time on the game, but I think there are some limitations in there. So, for example, there is very limited base size. So you get to a point where you can't expand, you can't do much more, and you are getting the money, and there is nothing else to do. So what do? You basically can start a new game and repeat the process, or just stop playing. In my case, I don't feel like playing the same game through the same things again. There is not a renewed challenge for replayability for me to want to play the game again and again. So I had fun for once, and that's it. And I think that's potentially the biggest downside of the game. If I could play it other times and have different outcomes or different challenges and different ways of doing things, then it would be much better. I think the lack of an actual end game, although I understand the general concept, but I feel like something more could happen, and to bring like something more exciting to the game that depending on how you go throughout your playthrough, the outcome could be different or something like that. I don't really know exactly what's the recipe for success in there, but certainly I felt like I got to a point where I wasn't expecting anything different or anything to happen that could affect me. I was being raided by pirates, managed to get rid of all of them every single time. Had the radiation storm? No problems. Had asteroids coming? Everything avoided. So it's like, didn't have anything to keep me on my toes, if you know what I mean. I think I briefly mentioned this, but I think it's worth making this a good point, that we have very limited base size. So you get to a point where you basically still need things, still like people can't land on your base because they don't have space, and you basically don't have any more space to build on it. If you're thinking about a game based on space, where you basically should have infinite space to build on, or maybe a second space station or something like that, that would make a lot of sense. And you are actually constrained by a very, very small size of the space station that you're building. So that is a little bit odd, and that's why I want to talk about that. Now, the game is now out with the version 1.0, and I do think there is a lot of quality of life improvements that needs to come into play here. There's a lot of texts that are very badly placed, and you have basically the background of the text is actually transparent, and then you have text behind that or some building, and then all of a sudden you just can't read anything. You have to keep manipulating where the pop-up bubbles will appear, so you can actually place it in a way that you can actually read what is in there. And it's kind of, in that sense, it's kind of bad, and that needs a lot of improvement as well. Overlays, I think it's something, although the space station is very small, I feel like that could help us quite a lot in identifying buildings, like where are all my turrets? Are they preventing the whole area to be attacked from, or is just one specific area? Or where is my shield generators? Where are all my power buildings? Which, by the way, we have an overlay for power connection or power in general, and I don't think that there's a reason for that. Like it's just almost useless. I know that sometimes you have to manually fix some connections, but there is no actual purpose in the game. You basically connect any building to any other building, and that just works, and everything is connected and working. As far as you keep the balance, produce more power than actually you are utilizing, then you should be good. So that is kind of something that I didn't quite get in the game, or didn't feel like there is a purpose. Something else, during events like asteroids, police scanning, or pirates attacking, or whatever, why can't we speed up the simulation? It just feels like, especially the police scanning, there's nothing happening in there. It's just an animation, and we have to wait on the smallest speed possible for that to finish. And it doesn't take me back to the speed that I was before. I have to keep consciously making those decisions, going back and forth and checking where we are and how things are actually placed. There are things like the research screen is just, I'm sorry, but it's just awful. You can't see what you'll be unlocking, and most of the items, you can actually see the item on the screen because the color is too dark compared to the background, and just feels like sometimes that there's nothing in there. And then all of a sudden you move your mouse and see, oh, there's something here. And then you have icons that on one side you have like all blue icons, and then you have green icons. And when I open the screen after a couple of hours not playing, or after a day of save the game, come back the next day and come back playing it again, and I look at green icons, blue icons on the research screen, my mind goes straight to green icons are the ones that I already researched, blue icons are the ones that I can research but I haven't yet. And that's not it. They're all researched, but they are just kind of messy. There is not some items are not in a specific order that would make sense as well. So you basically start in the middle, and you can go up and down, like you go around this an hexagonal screen, and you have research in different areas of your research tree. It's not really a research tree at that point, but it feels like confusing. So I think there's a lot of potential there, and I do enjoy the game at the beginning and towards the end. So I had some fun with the game, but those things need to be fixed before it's actually a really positive review and a thumbs up for playing it and replaying it. So at this point, I don't even know if I'll keep following on the game progression or the game development, because I saw the roadmap. It doesn't seem like maybe the quality of life is every single release they do, they will bring some of those. But some of my concerns in terms of how to do research or how they work. By the way, research is something that I end up doing at the end of the game, because it basically didn't affect how I played the game. It unlocked some things, but it was taking so long that I didn't bother. And then when I've done everything, I was like, okay, let's add some more research buildings so we can get some of research done. But then there was no challenge anymore. I've basically beat the game without research. So that is something to think about and to potentially rebalance, because it shouldn't be like that in my opinion. That is my review for Space Station Tycoon. So if I think that's worth it at the moment, I don't think so, unless you want to play it for like one playthrough and you're done. If you're happy with that, maybe get the game on a sale or something like that at a discount, and I think you might have like a few hours of fun in there. But I do expect that future releases will bring a lot of fixes to the game and to make it better and be more fun to play it again, because the way it is at the moment, I don't feel like playing it again because there is nothing new that I would see throughout my playthrough. But those are all my own opinions, and I hope that helped you decide or have a bit of insight on how I think it is. If you want to see more about it, I have a complete playthrough of the game, and you can take a look at that on your screen right now. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!